They told me Blackridge was just another contract. Night shift. Easy money. 12 hours, no contact with the inmates unless the intercom says otherwise. That was the briefing. The real story started the moment the gate closed behind me. The air smelled of ozone and old metal, the kind of scent that clings to your teeth. Floodlights cut through the fog rolling off Lake Erie, painting everything in washed-out silver. Beyond the double fence was the main compound, low concrete blocks stitched together by steel catwalks and electric wire humming like an insect hive. The guard at the checkpoint didn't look at me. He just scanned the barcode on my ID, pressed a button, and muttered through cracked lips, "Welcome to Akron, Officer Mercer." Don't blink. When the inner door sealed, the sound it made wasn't mechanical. It sounded hungry. I'd served 2 tours in Helmand. Thought nothing could shake me after that. But this place, it was built to keep something else in, not just kids. A woman's voice echoed from the PA system, polite and toneless. Orientation in conference room C. Do not deviate from your assigned path. The hall stretched ahead like the throat of a machine. Every 20 feet, a red camera eye followed me. No chatter, no footsteps except mine. I caught my reflection in a polished steel panel, black uniform, stun baton, regulation boots. Looked almost respectable if you didn't know the debt collectors waiting outside. At the end of the corridor, a glass door hissed open. Director Mordecai Voss stood behind a metal desk that gleamed like an autopsy table. He was tall, all edges and angles, wearing a grey suit with no wrinkles, sunglasses reflecting the flicker of fluorescent light. There was no sound when he smiled. He extended a single sheet of paper between 2 fingers. "Your shift order," he said. His voice was smooth, rehearsed. "And your first rule." The paper was cold, printed in crimson letters. Rule 1, never let the kids reach the yard. I read it twice. That's it. He nodded. Simple rules are the hardest to obey. He circled the desk, his cologne sharp as antiseptic. Do your 12 hours, follow the handbook, and you'll walk out richer than you've ever been. Fail, and the yard will handle the paperwork. Paperwork? I asked. His smile didn't move, but somehow widened. You'll see. He turned toward a wall of monitors. 6 of them showed different camera feeds, hallways, cells, the gymnasium. The 7th was pure static. That's the yard, Voss said quietly. Don't stare too long. It stares back. Before I could answer, the door hissed open again and someone huge filled the frame. C.O. Lyle Garrick, Voss introduced. He'll show you the rounds. Garrick looked like he'd been carved from a boulder, tattoos climbing his neck, one shaped like a wolf's head. His handshake was bone-crushing. Keep your chin down and your eyes up, he said. Cameras got blind spots. The kids know where. We started down the hallway, passing rows of locked cells. Each door had a single slit window, and every pair of eyes behind those windows followed us, silent, unblinking. I asked, they really just kids? Depends on your definition, Garrick grunted. Akron calls M subjects. I called them nightmares under 16. He pointed at a door labeled C12. That one's Nova. Don't spook her unless you like fireworks. Inside, a pale girl sat cross-legged, staring at her hands. Blue sparks crawled over her fingertips, fading into the dark. Next cell, C14, Clara Stone. The window glass had a spiderweb crack shaped like a fist. The girl behind it smiled with teeth like chipped marble. Then came glass, puddle, feathers, shade, each more unreal than the last. If they were experiments, they were damn good ones. When we reached the elevator at the end, Garrick stopped and jabbed a thumb at the warning sign, restricted, yard access level B. Off limits, he said. Even for me. What's down there? He didn't answer. The silence said enough. Back in the break room, the clock read 11:55 p.m. A small metal locker bore my name on masking tape. Inside, a stun gun, a flashlight, a half-charged radio, and a pack of nicotine gum. The PA crackled again. Shift commencing. Director Voss monitoring. Good luck. Garrick gave me a nod. See you at roll call, Merc. Don't let the freaks see fear. They can smell it. Then he was gone, leaving only the hum of the fluorescent lights. I chewed the gum, swallowed the bitterness, and took my first patrol. 0:10 a.m. The compound at night feels different. Air heavier, walls closer. Each corridor ends in shadow that doesn't quite belong. My boots echoed over the tile in perfect rhythm, until a second echo joined, just half a beat late. Garrick. I called. Nothing. A distant metallic clang rolled through the vents like thunder underwater. Then another, closer. Control, this is Mercer, I said into the radio. Hearing movement near Block C. Static. Then a whisper, not Garrick's, not Voss's, something dry, like wind scraping stone. Rule 1, Rule 1. I froze. Say again. The line went dead. When I reached Block C, the door was open. It shouldn't have been. The keypad flashed override. Inside, the lights flickered, painting the hall in red and white stripes. Cell C12, empty. C14, empty. All 6 cells, open. A tremor ran through the floor. From somewhere below came a low grinding noise, deep enough to rattle my ribs. I spotted a security camera above the corridor, its lens cracked but still glowing. Then it moved, slowly, deliberately, panning down to look straight at me. Voss? I asked the air. You seeing this? The speaker above the door crackled. His calm voice drifted through. I see everything, Officer Mercer. Don't lose your composure. What the hell's happening? Containment breach. 6 subjects unaccounted for. He paused, as if savoring the next words. You have 30 minutes to retrieve them before the yard keeps them, and you. The radio clicked off. I felt my stomach drop. This wasn't a prison, it was a trap that fed itself. At the end of the corridor, a service gate had been forced open. Fresh claw marks lined the steel. Cold air poured up from the darkness below, smelling of rust and old rain. I aimed my flashlight. The beam caught a flicker of movement, something pale sliding into the vent shaft. A hand, small and trembling, clutching the edge before vanishing. Nova? I called. Stop. It's not safe down there. Only the echo answered. I stepped closer, felt a static tingle on my skin. Then, faintly, the sound of dripping water and a child's sob somewhere in the deep. Behind me, the elevator dinged. I spun, weapon raised. Standing there was Rotter Fred. Up close, he looked like a man who'd already died and changed his mind. Skin grey-green, eyes milky but focused. His uniform hung off him in tatters, and his smile showed too many teeth. Mr. Mercer, he croaked, voice bubbling. Director says you need a hand. He lifted one, metal fingers welded to bone. What the hell are you? I muttered. Maintenance, he said simply. I clean what the yard spits out. He stepped into the corridor, dragging a rusted plasma cutter behind him. Sparks kissed the floor. The sound made my teeth hurt. Come on, he said, gesturing toward the open hatch. Kids took the wrong turn. Can't blame M. Down there's where the dreams live. I stared into the vent again, black as tar. And what's waiting for us? Rotter grinned. Same thing that waits for everyone who works the night shift. The elevator doors yawned open behind us, leading down, no button panel, just a single keyhole and the faint smell of disinfectant and burnt ozone. Rotter inserted a rusted key that looked older than the building itself. Down we go, boss. I took one last look at the empty cells, at the flickering lights overhead. My gut screamed to walk away. But debts don't disappear, and kids don't deserve to die in holes made by men like Voss. So I stepped in. The doors slid shut with a sigh, and the last thing I saw before the light vanished was the camera above the hallway turning to follow us, like an eye that never blinked. The elevator groaned like it hadn't moved in years. The overhead light flickered, showing bits of rust floating in the air like dust. Rotter stood beside me, breathing slow but wrong. Each inhale crackled, each exhale leaked a trace of black vapor. The plasma cutter hummed against the floor, leaving a faint burn line with every sway. No floor numbers, no buttons, just that key turning by itself. How far down does this go? I asked. Rotter tilted his head, thinking. Farther than they paid me for. The cab jerked to a stop hard enough to bite my tongue. A red emergency light snapped on, bathing everything in a heartbeat glow. A female voice, tinny, distorted, filtered through the speaker overhead. Subject retrieval authorized. Good luck, Officer Mercer. Then silence. The doors creaked open onto a corridor half submerged in fog. Moisture dripped from the pipes above, each drop hit the floor with a hollow plink that echoed forever. The smell hit next, oil, rust, and something sweeter underneath, like burnt hair. Rotter stepped out first, his boots splashing into a shallow film of water. "Stay close," he muttered. "Yard don't like strangers." "The yard's a place, right?" I asked. "Not something else." He chuckled, a sound like wet gravel. "You'll see." We followed the corridor until it widened into what looked like an old loading bay. The walls were plastered with warning signs, a biohazard, electrical hazard, authorized personnel only. Someone had spray painted over them in dripping black letters. We still hear them. At the far end, 6 steel doors lined the wall, numbered 1 through 6. Heavy locks, reinforced seams, military-grade containment. Above them, a single floodlight swung slowly, its motion sensor squeaking with each pass. A faint beeping came from door 3. Something moving inside, scratching. Rotter pointed with the plasma cutter. "That's your kids." "How can you tell?" "They're the only ones that scream that quietly." I approached, gun drawn. The scratching stopped. Then a small voice, shaky and desperate. "Mercer? It's Nova." Relief shot through me. "Nova." Step back from the door, Before I could finish, the lock clicked by itself. The door slid open with a hiss, and a burst of static electricity filled the air. My flashlight blew out instantly. For a heartbeat the world went blue, hair standing, fillings humming, and Nova stood there, barefoot and terrified, her hands glowing white at the fingertips. Behind her, shadows twisted like liquid metal. "They took Clara," she gasped. Glass tried to follow, but the floor opened. It ate them. Rotter stepped forward, eyes milky. "Where?" Nova pointed down the hall. "Through the kitchen, but it's not a kitchen anymore." The word "anymore" lingered in my skull like a needle. We moved fast. The corridor bent into an old industrial mess hall. Tables overturned, trays fused into the concrete, as if melted by heat. The walls were blackened with soot except for one. The back wall had collapsed inward, revealing a tunnel bored through raw earth. Metal ribs curved overhead, pulsing faintly, alive. Something inside that tunnel was breathing. Rotter raised his cutter. "That's the yard's throat." Nova clutched my sleeve. "Don't go. It doesn't like light." I handed her the spare flashlight anyway. "Keep it on. If you hear me yell, run." She didn't move. Just whispered, "They're still down there." We entered the tunnel. The deeper we went, the louder the sound of machinery grew, gears grinding, chains tightening, pistons sighing, as if the whole underground complex was shifting in its sleep. Every 50 feet, old prison signage jutted from the walls, cell block B, laundry, yard entrance. My light caught streaks on the wall, fingerprints burned into steel. At the base of a stairwell we found glass. The boy's skin shimmered like frosted glass, veins glowing faintly from within. He was curled under a broken pipe, trembling. "Glass, hey, it's okay," I said, kneeling. He looked up, eyes refracting my light into a dozen fractured rainbows. "It's hungry, Officer Mercer." It took stone. She said she could fight it, but his voice broke. It made her hard and kept her that way. Rotter leaned in close, sniffed the air. "She's part of the wall now." "Don't," I snapped. He shrugged. "Facts are facts." A tremor rolled through the ground, knocking us to our knees. The air temperature dropped 20 degrees in seconds. Somewhere deeper, metal shrieked as if torn apart by claws. Rotter grinned, teeth black. Feeding time. We pushed on. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber lit by the flicker of failing floodlights. At first glance it looked like a warehouse, rows of rusted equipment, conveyor belts, and a towering robotic arm hanging from the ceiling like a spider. But then I saw the tables. 6 of them, arranged in a line. And the kids, every single one, strapped to the tables with wire harnesses. Above each child hung a different machine, saws, drills, injectors, all grafted from the prison's old maintenance systems. The whole setup pulsed to a rhythm, like a mechanical heartbeat. "Jesus," I whispered. "What is this place?" Rotter answered by stepping forward, dragging the plasma cutter behind him. "The yard's a recycler. Flesh, steel, soul of it all gets used again. Company saves a fortune." I raised my weapon. "You knew." He turned that half-rotted face toward me. "I remember. I was the first test run." That's when the arm above the tables twitched. It rotated with a high-pitched whine, joint sparking, and swung down toward us. Its claws, massive hydraulic pincers, snapped open and shut like jaws. One grabbed Rotter by the torso and lifted him clear off the ground. The cutter flared to life. "Get the kids," he roared, sparks flying as he slashed at the cables. "I'll jam the bastard." I sprinted to Nova's table, tore at the straps. Static bit into my palms, but she broke free and immediately flung her hands toward the machine. A bolt of white lightning arced upward, short-circuiting one of the robotic joints. "Glass, help me!" I shouted. The transparent boy crawled to the control panel, his fingers sinking through the surface like water. Circuits flickered inside his arms, the locks disengaged with a heavy thunk. Each of the kids ripped free in sequence, feathers, shade, even puddle reforming from a dark puddle on the floor. The robotic arm screamed. Metal screamed. Then Rotter drove the plasma cutter straight through its joint. The room exploded in sparks and smoke. "Run," he bellowed. We bolted for the exit, the kids clustering behind me. Shade cast her shadow across the wall, black and moving fast, hiding us from the cameras. The alarms began blaring overhead, containment failure level red. Behind us, Rotter was still fighting. I looked back once and saw him half crushed in the machine's pincers, body snapping like wet cloth, but he didn't stop. His arm melted, fused with the cutter, and when the explosion hit, the shockwave threw all of us through the hallway. When I opened my eyes, everything was quiet except for the echo of dripping metal. The kids were sprawled around me, coughing. Steam rolled off their skin. A shape moved in the smoke, Rotter, or what was left of him, crawling on all fours. His torso was gone from the ribs down, black liquid pooling behind him. He dragged himself forward, grabbed the still glowing claw of the machine, and pried off one of its fingers. He held it out to me like a souvenir. "Proof," he gurgled. "You saved them, boss." Then he collapsed, skin collapsing inward, leaving only the smell of ozone and burnt copper. We stumbled back through the tunnel, half blind, half deaf. By the time we reached the elevator shaft, the power was returning, white lights flickering on one by one. Over the intercom, Voss's calm voice echoed again. "Impressive response time, Officer Mercer. 30 minutes exactly. 6 assets retrieved intact. You'll find your bonus in the morning." I looked at the kids, soaked, shaking, eyes too old for their faces. Nova whispered. He was watching the whole time. The elevator doors opened on their own. Inside, Rotter's rusted key hung from the switch, still smoking. We rose in silence. Halfway up, I felt something shift beneath my boot. The metal floor was breathing, slow, steady, like the chest of a sleeping animal. When the doors opened onto Block C, Director Voss was waiting. Suit immaculate, hands clasped behind his back. "Well done," he said softly. "The Yard appreciates your cooperation." "The Yard?" I snapped. "You mean that thing down there?" He smiled behind those black lenses. "It's our partner. It feeds us miracles. And now you're part of the program." He turned to the kids. "Subjects, return to quarters. Officer Mercer needs debriefing." They hesitated. Nova shot me a look, pleading, but I gave a small nod. They filed out, silent as ghosts. Voss stepped closer, close enough for me to smell the antiseptic again. "You've proven valuable, Mr. Mercer. Sign the 5-year contract, and I'll make sure your debts vanish." He slid a digital pad into my hand. On the screen, term of employment, Blackridge Juvenile Detention Night Supervision Unit. At the bottom, a blinking cursor waited beside the words, "Welcome to the Yard." I didn't sign. Not yet. But as I stared at that cursor, the intercom clicked one last time. Shift 1 complete. Shift 2 begins in 6 hours. Then the lights went out, and in the darkness below us, I heard the Yard exhale, long, satisfied, and still hungry. When the power came back on, it wasn't light, it was surveillance. Every bulb, every monitor, every lens in that corridor came alive at once, humming with the same pale glow. I could feel them watching, the building's gaze crawling across my skin like static. I didn't sleep after the first shift. You don't sleep in Blackridge. You drift. You listen to the pipes whisper and pretend it's rain. By the time morning rolled grey through the slit windows, the kids were gone, escorted for evaluation. Rotter's remains had been collected in a biohazard bag and labelled property of Acheron Security. The only proof he'd ever existed was the scorched fingerprint on my flashlight handle. They left me coffee. Real coffee, steaming in a paper cup. That meant one thing: Voss wanted compliance. I drank it anyway. At 8:15, I was summoned to Medical Sub-Level A. Dr. Iris Vell waited in a lab that smelled of bleach and formaldehyde. The walls were lined with glass jars, floating eyes, grey matter suspended like fossils. Each jar bore a tag, binmate ID hash. Discharged. She didn't look up from her clipboard. "Sit, Officer Mercer. I'm told you performed adequately. Your robot arm tried to pulp me," I said. "That adequate enough." Finally she looked at me, her sharp cheekbones, surgical mask pulled just below her nose. Her eyes were pale green, too bright. "That wasn't my machine. The Yard has its own anatomy now." She tapped a monitor where a heat map pulsed like a heartbeat. "It's evolving." "What exactly is the Yard, Doc?" "Voss calls it a partner. Rotter called it a stomach." She smiled faintly. "Both. Think of it as an ecosystem built from industrial waste, trauma, and corporate funding." She set down the clipboard. "You've seen it breathe, haven't you?" I didn't answer. She took my silence as confirmation. "The experiments began 5 years ago," she continued. "Acheron acquired this facility after the state shut it down for irregular discipline. The Yard was supposed to recycle material, steel, concrete, flesh, convert it into usable biocomposite. Instead, it started keeping what we fed it." She leaned closer. "The children bond to it. They hear it. Sometimes, it hears back." I stood. "So we're feeding kids to a machine." She shrugged. "Not we, Officer Mercer. You." Then she handed me a small metallic device, palm-sized, shaped like a folded wing. "Tracker. It registers biosigns attuned to the yard's core frequency. Your subject's vitals will glow blue, the yard's emissions red. If those colors overlap, she trailed off. Run. The thing vibrated once in my hand, like a heartbeat. Before I could reply, alarms shrieked overhead, short, sharp bursts. A red light bathed the lab. Dr. Vell didn't flinch. Containment breach, she said calmly. East wing. Adolescent sector. Again? I snapped. She looked almost amused. The yard never sleeps, Mr. Mercer. 12:03 p.m. The east wing looked like someone had turned the world inside out. Ceiling tiles hung by sinews of melted wiring, and every door along the corridor bulged outward as if something had tried to crawl through them. My tracker pulsed blue times 6, nova, glass, feathers, puddle, shade, and stone. Except stone was supposed to be dead. I followed the strongest signal into the recreation hall. It was snowing inside. Flakes of ash drifted down from a broken vent, coating the basketball court in grey dust. In the center stood Nova, her hair alive with electricity, arms outstretched toward the ceiling where a black mass pulsed like an open wound. Nova! I called. Step away! She turned, eyes glowing white. It's calling her back. Who? Before she could answer, the floor cracked. Out of the split rose stone, skin dark as cement, veins glowing faint orange like molten seams. Her eyes were blank pits. Glass screamed. The sound was pure crystal shatter. Stone moved fast, too fast for anything that dense. She hit me square in the chest. The impact drove me through a table. My ribs sang like struck bells. Nova's lightning flashed, arcing into Stone's body, but the electricity just danced across her skin. Stone lifted her arm, and I saw rebar bones beneath the flesh. She was more structure than human now. Feathers dived from the balcony, wings beating dust into a storm. He slammed into Stone, knocking her sideways long enough for me to crawl upright. I fired the stun gun directly into her temple. The charge barely staggered her, but it gave me 2 seconds. I shouted, "Nova, now!" She unleashed another bolt, this one aimed at the ceiling. The metal support beams bent, showering sparks. One fell straight through Stone's chest like a spear. She didn't bleed, she cracked. The glow inside dimmed. For a heartbeat, she looked at me with something like recognition. Then she whispered, "It's hungry," and fell apart into grey dust. The kids huddled together. Nova shaking, glass crying soundlessly, puddle spreading across the floor like a shadow. Feathers looked at me. "We can't stay here." I nodded. Medical wing. Now. We moved fast, avoiding cameras, slipping through maintenance halls that reeked of coolant and decay. Every few minutes the tracker flashed red, pulses from the yard below, rhythmic, closer each time. By the time we reached the stairwell, Shade froze. Her shadow had stopped following her. Instead, it was moving ahead of us. "Don't move," I whispered. The shadow stretched along the wall, warping into a humanoid outline, taller, leaner. It turned its head, and though it had no face, I felt it smile. Shade whimpered. "It wants me back." "Back where?" "The dark part. Underneath." I raised the light, but the beam fizzled as soon as it touched the shape. Then the bulbs above us burst one by one, each pop louder than a gunshot. "Run!" I yelled. We burst into the service corridor. Puddle liquefied and surged ahead under the doors, triggering motion sensors. Sirens wailed. The yard's hum rose beneath our feet, synchronizing with my pulse. We reached the lift leading down to the old boiler rooms, unpowered since the accident. Feathers jammed his fingers into the panel, veins glowing gold, and somehow jump-started it. The doors groaned open. I hesitated. "We're going down." Nova nodded. "That's where it sleeps. That's where it dreams." The elevator dropped before I even pressed a button. The boiler level looked nothing like any blueprint I'd seen. The walls curved inward, not out, and the air shimmered as if underwater. Machinery had fused with organic matter, pistons threaded through bone, ducts pulsing like veins. My tracker went wild, blue and red overlapping, flickering violet. Doc Vel, I whispered into the radio. Reading cross-frequency at sub-basement 2. You getting this? Her voice crackled through static. Get out. Mercer. If blue turns violet, that means it's learning your pattern. Too late, I said, because the walls were opening. Panels peeled back like eyelids, revealing hundreds of tiny glass windows, each one holding an image, CCTV feeds, heartbeat monitors, faces of inmates, guards, children, and then my own. The yard was watching me through itself. A voice seeped from the intercom, deep and metallic but still human enough to chill the blood. Officer Mercer. You fed me. You freed my children. Join them. The floor rippled. Puddles' liquid form began to rise involuntarily, drawn into the surface like mercury to a magnet. I grabbed him, pulled hard, but his eyes were already blank. He whispered, "It feels warm," before melting completely into the steel. No. Nova screamed. Her hands flared, throwing arcs of lightning that carved scars in the walls. The lights blew out. Total darkness. Then a faint glow, glass, his body blazing from within like a lantern. "It's pulling us apart," he said quietly. "Mercer, it wants a body." The ground split open, revealing a pit of red light and rotating gears slick with blood. At its center, something enormous moved, a mechanical spine coiling, built from the remains of everything Akron had buried here. I fired the stun gun into it. The darts vanished like raindrops. Nova grabbed my arm. "You can't kill it." "Then what?" "Unplug it." Glass pointed to a conduit snaking along the wall, thick as a tree trunk, humming. Feathers took flight, short, desperate bursts, snapping at the conduit with metal clamps until sparks rained down. I ripped at the wires bare-handed, electricity searing my palms. "Now, Nova!" I shouted. She screamed, channeling every ounce of power through her arms. The lightning hit the exposed conduit. The whole chamber convulsed. For a heartbeat, the red light turned white. Then silence. The glow in the pit faded to grey. The air stilled. Feathers collapsed, wings smoking. Glass flickered but stayed intact. Nova fell to her knees, breathing hard. "We did it," I asked. From deep below, something laughed. A slow, metallic exhale that rolled through the pipes and whispered against my ear. "You can't unplug what's already awake." The power died again. Emergency red strobes returned, flashing like heartbeats. Over the radio, Voss's voice slid in, calm as ever. "Mercer, your heroics are impressive but unnecessary. Step away from the children. The yard will recalibrate." I looked at Nova, at the ash that used to be stone, at the puddle stain glistening where puddle had been. "No," I said. "Not this time." "You misunderstand," Voss replied. "It's not a choice. You signed the first rule." That was consent enough. The intercom cut. Behind us, the elevator doors began to close on their own, slow, final. I shoved the kids through. The moment I followed, the floor plates beneath the yard cracked open again, and something vast stirred, a shape with too many limbs, all made of rebar and wire, dragging itself toward the light. As the lift rose, I stared down into that dark and swore I saw Rotter's half-burned face emerging from the steel, whispering one word that followed me all the way up. "Run." The elevator rose slower than a heartbeat. Every creak sounded like bone giving up. The kids huddled together, eyes fixed on the floor as if afraid it might start breathing again. Feathers had one wing broken, feathers singed to charcoal. Glass flickered in and out of visibility, his outline stuttering like bad reception. Nova leaned against the wall, hands still glowing faintly, blue arcs jumping between her fingertips and the metal rails. None of us spoke until the doors slid open onto level B. The air felt colder up here, sterile, pre-filtered, almost too clean. Rows of white light stretched down the corridor like a surgical scar. Voss was waiting. He stood perfectly still at the far end, hands clasped, the same grey suit spotless despite the smoke still rising from below. Flanking him were two guards in matte black armor, no insignias, no faces, just mirrored helmets that reflected us like insects caught in glass. "Welcome back," he said. His voice didn't echo, the walls seemed to swallow it. "You've gone somewhere you shouldn't have, Mr. Mercer." "Funny," I said. "Seems like I was the only one going after your missing assets." "Assets," he repeated softly. "Acheron's future depends on them. You, on the other hand, are replaceable." Nova stepped forward. "You're lying. You let it take them, Rotter, Stone, everyone." Voss smiled like a man listening to weather reports. "Sacrifice is the scaffolding of progress." He turned to the guards. "Collect the subjects. Non-lethal restraint." The guards advanced. Feathers snapped open his remaining wing, glass shattering as it brushed the lights. "You'll have to break us first." I raised the stun gun, empty. Still, it made them hesitate. Voss sighed. "Mr. Mercer, must we do this melodrama again? You work for me." "Not anymore." He tilted his head. "You misunderstand. Employment at Blackridge isn't terminated by resignation. It's absorbed." He lifted a remote from his pocket and pressed a button. The ceiling lights flickered once, and the floor rippled. Thin seams opened between tiles, releasing that same metallic breath I'd felt below. "The yard," I whispered. "You brought it up here." Voss's smile widened. "We never go to the yard, Mr. Mercer. The yard comes to us." The corridor exploded in chaos. Black tendrils of wire and rebar burst through the floor, wrapping around the guards first. Their armor split like foil, bodies yanked downward screaming into the gaps. Blood mist hung in the fluorescent light for half a second before the vents inhaled it. Nova screamed. Electricity erupted from her palms, frying two of the cables mid-air. Glass threw himself in front of Feathers as shards of steel shot from the walls like bullets. "Move!" I shouted. We bolted toward the opposite end, past containment cells, past flickering monitors showing us running in delayed frames. Behind us, Voss walked calmly through the carnage, untouched, murmuring something that sounded like prayer or command code. We crashed through a maintenance hatch into the generator corridor. Rows of turbines roared, shaking dust from the ceiling. The yard's tendrils slithered through the vents like veins. Feathers pointed. "Emergency exit, there." We sprinted. The alarm lights painted everything red. One of the tendrils lashed across the hallway, slicing through Feathers' injured wing. He fell screaming. Nova grabbed him, sparks flying from her skin as she hauled him upright. I turned, fired a flare gun I'd snatched from the supply shelf. The round hit the tendril dead-on, blooming into fire. The smell was unbearable, burnt oil and rot, but the thing recoiled long enough for us to clear the corridor. At the end of the hall stood a blast door labeled Reactor Access, authorized personnel only. The keypad was glowing red. "Glass," I barked. "You can do that thing again?" He nodded, trembling, and pressed his translucent hand to the panel. Circuits inside the pad lit up like constellations, lines of code flashing through his veins. The door slid open an inch, then stalled. Voss's voice echoed through the PA. "Do you really think there's an outside, Mr. Mercer? The yard extends farther than these walls. The city feeds it. You breathe its air. I slammed the door control with my fist. You talk too much. The mechanism ground open, and we shoved through. Beyond it lay a massive vertical shaft, the reactor core, humming like a god's heartbeat. Catwalk spiraled downward into blackness. At the center hung a column of red light, pulsing in rhythm with the sound from below. That's it, Nova whispered. That's the heart. Feathers gritted his teeth. Then we kill it. We descended the catwalk. The deeper we went, the warmer the air grew, moist, almost human. Pipes along the walls pulsed, carrying a dark fluid that wasn't entirely mechanical. Halfway down, Glass stumbled. His skin flashed red instead of blue on the tracker. Glass? I said. He looked at me, terrified. It's inside me. I can hear it whispering. Fight it. He shook his head violently. It's not a voice. It's a memory. Then he screamed, body arching as light poured out of him in fractures. Cracks split across his skin, and from within, hands, metallic, skeletal, pushed outward. I grabbed Nova and dragged her down the stairs as Glass burst into shards that hung midair, suspended like a frozen explosion. The fragments twisted together into a new shape, a humanoid figure made of glass and steel, featureless except for a glowing core in its chest. Feathers gasped. Is that? No, I said. That's the Yard learning. The thing stepped toward us, every movement accompanied by a sound like grinding mirrors. It spoke in a voice that was both Glass's and Voss's. Assimilation ensures immortality. I raised the flare gun again. One shot left. Let's test that theory. The flare struck the core. For a split second, light filled the shaft, refracted through the creature's body into blinding prisms. Then it shattered, literally, exploding into a rain of razor-sharp fragments that sliced through my arm and cheek. I didn't stop to look. We ran until the catwalk ended at a circular platform above the reactor's light. Nova staggered beside me, panting. It's using us like blood cells. Feathers pointed down at the column. That's its brain. We cut the power there. I stared at the control panel, an ancient console fused into the railing, half organic, half machine. Wires grew out of it like vines, disappearing into the core. One switch was labeled Primary Fusion Link. I flipped the safety guard. If we blow this, we take the whole complex with it. Feathers laughed weakly. Good. Maybe the world gets lucky for once. Nova placed her hand over mine. Wait. Her eyes glowed brighter than ever. If we just destroy it, it'll rebuild. We have to overwrite it. She pulled the metallic tracker from my belt, twisted it open, exposing a chip. This tracks the Yard's frequency. But it can broadcast too. You're going to fry your brain. She smiled faintly. Maybe. But it'll hear me instead of Voss. Before I could stop her, she pressed the chip against her temple. The device lit up, searing blue. Her body arched, electricity arcing from her hair. The entire reactor trembled. Nova! I shouted, but the sound was drowned by a rising roar, the Yard scream. Images burst through the monitors, the children, the guards, even Rotter's mangled grin. All of them flickered, merging, resolving into one enormous eye opening across the reactor wall. It stared at her. Little lightning, it said, voice shaking the metal. You think you can tame hunger? She screamed back, no. I'll starve you. The light surged, blinding. Every conduit in the shaft exploded outward, pouring fire and debris. I grabbed Feathers, shielding him as the catwalk gave way. When the flash died, everything was silent. Nova was gone. The reactor's glow had dimmed to dull amber, heartbeat slowing. The Yard wasn't dead, but it was wounded. We climbed what was left of the ladder back toward the upper levels. Feathers was coughing blood, one wing useless. You think she did it? He asked. I think she bought us time. When we reached the surface corridor, the building was quiet. No alarms, no lights, just the soft hum of ventilation like breathing in its sleep. At the end of the hall stood Director Voss again, no guards this time, no calm smile either. His suit was torn, face grey from smoke. "You ruined a decade of research," he hissed. "Do you know what you've done?" "Yeah," I said. "I clocked out." He raised a pistol, standard issue, black polymer. "You can't kill what you're part of." "That's funny," I said. "Neither can you." A single thunderclap cut him off. For a heartbeat I thought it was lightning, but the bullet hole blooming in his chest told me otherwise. He looked down, touched the wound as if inspecting a lab sample. "Fascinating," he whispered, before collapsing. The gun wasn't mine. Feathers was holding it, trembling. "He would have killed you." I nodded. "He probably still will." Because from Voss's body, wires began to grow. They burst through the wound, thin and red, snaking toward the walls like roots seeking soil. His eyes snapped open, pupils glowing the same amber as the reactor core. He smiled, voice now echoing through the speakers and his mouth simultaneously. "You didn't kill me, Mercer. You promoted me." The walls around us pulsed, taking on a heartbeat again. Somewhere deep below, the yard laughed, awakening in full. I dragged Feathers toward the emergency lift, slammed the surface exit key. The elevator shot upward, trembling violently as the power fluctuated. Through the glass shaft I saw the compound collapsing in slow motion, walls folding, towers bending inward as if drawn by gravity to a single point. Feathers pressed his head against the wall, eyes closing. "Where do we go?" I looked at the faint dawn bleeding through the ceiling hatch. "Out," I said. "If there's still an out." The elevator breached the surface with a scream of metal. Cold morning air hit us, smoke, ash, and the distant sirens of Blackridge City. The detention center was sinking, piece by piece, into a red glowing crater. I stumbled onto the frozen ground, lungs burning. Feathers crawled beside me, laughing weakly. We made it. Then the ground trembled again, softer this time, like something breathing beneath the soil. I looked back. The crater's light pulsed once, slow and rhythmic. From the ruins rose a single shape, a steel hand, massive and skeletal, reaching toward the sky. In its open palm sat a small glass vial, inside, a frozen arc of blue lightning. "Nova's lightning." Feathers whispered, "She's still in there." I picked up the vial. It vibrated, faintly, alive. Behind us, far away, sirens grew louder. Government, media, whoever answered these calls. I didn't care. I pocketed the vial and turned toward the horizon. "Come on," I said. "Shift's over." Feathers laughed once, ragged. "For who?" The wind howled through the ruins. Somewhere below, the yard exhaled again, slow, patient, endless. And I realized Voss had been right about one thing. At Blackridge, nothing ever really ends. The news said it was a gas main explosion. They always say that when something eats a building. By sunrise, Blackridge juvenile detention had been erased from every network feed. Satellite photos replaced with stock images of empty lots. The crater fenced off, drones hovering, black SUVs sealing the highway in both directions. And still, if you stood on the overpass and listened close enough, you could hear it breathing under the asphalt. Feathers and I made it 12 miles before the road gave out. His left wing hung limp, Feathers fused into a crust of soot and blood. We followed a drainage ditch north until we found an abandoned service tunnel leading toward the lake. That's where we've been hiding ever since. I marked the time by the hum in the pipes. Every hour, the city's power grid pulses, 3 short bursts, 1 long. It's the yard's rhythm, leaking upward through the grid-like infection. Feathers calls it the heartbeat of the new world. I call it the reminder. Day 1 to 15:23 hours. He sits by the broken lantern, mumbling into an old police scanner we salvaged from a wrecked patrol car. "Frequency 109.8, he says, twisting the dial. "It talks on that one." "It?" I ask. You mean Voss? He shakes his head. No. The other one. The thing underneath. Static fills the tunnel, a hiss that sounds too much like whispering. Then a voice, female, metallic, almost melodic. Shift 2 commencing. Subjects 1 to 6 outstanding. Retrieval protocol active. Feathers flinches. It knows we're still alive. Let it know, I say. Maybe it'll choke on the thought. But when the static fades, the scanner keeps humming on its own, like it's breathing too. Day 2, night. I dream of Nova. In the dream, she's standing inside the reactor shaft, hair floating weightless, eyes glowing white. She mouths words I can't hear until the sound cuts in like a broken speaker. You unplugged the body, but not the memory. I wake to find the vial glowing in my pocket, the blue lightning alive again. Feathers watches it with wide eyes. It's her, isn't it? Maybe just what's left of her. He laughs softly. Then that's more than the rest of us. The city above is changing. From the tunnel grate I can see the skyline, factories, cranes, refineries, all pulsing in the same rhythm. Streetlights flicker in unison, 3 short, 1 long. It's sinking everything, power, traffic lights, even phone towers. The yard isn't dead. It's expanding. Feathers presses his ear to the ground. It's growing through the sewers, like roots. I tell him to get some sleep. He doesn't. Day 3, evening. We venture topside for food. The streets of Blackridge look like someone pressed pause mid-apocalypse. Cars abandoned mid-turn, storefronts shattered, ATMs melted into the sidewalk. And in the windows, reflections that don't match what's in front of them. I catch one in the glass of a diner door, me, but smiling when I'm not. Behind my reflection, a figure in grey stands motionless. Voss. I spin around. Nothing there. But the reflection stays. Feathers drags me away before I can punch the glass. Don't feed it attention, he says. It likes attention. We raid a vending machine, splitting stale protein bars. He tries to joke about how at least the apocalypse has snacks. I don't laugh. When we return to the tunnel, the scanner is already on. A new voice plays through it, childlike, trembling. Shade. Mercer, don't come back. It's using our shadows. We can't tell what's real anymore. Then static. Then another voice, deeper, familiar. Officer Mercer. Report to the yard. Rule 1 still applies. I smash the scanner against the wall until it dies. Feathers just stares at me. It's calling you now. Then it'll keep waiting. Day 4, pre-dawn. The tunnel shakes. At first I think it's another tremor, but the sound isn't from below, it's from above. Helicopters. At least 3. Floodlights sweep the ruins near the detention site. Feathers climbs the ladder to peek. Black suits, he whispers. Government. Or Akron pretending to be government. I watch the lights through the vent grating, circles of cold white moving in perfect pattern. They're not searching. They're mapping. And under the rotor noise, faint but clear, I hear the PA voice again, echoing from their speakers. Shift 3 initiated. New supervisor assigned, M. Voss. Feathers turns to me, face pale. He's alive. I shake my head. No. He's uploaded. We run that night. Through the storm drains, across the dry riverbed, into the skeleton of an old shipping warehouse by the docks. The floor there is covered in rusted chains and frozen puddles that reflect light wrong, each reflection slightly delayed, as if the world above water moves slower than the one below. We barricade the doors and make camp. I check the vial again. The lightning inside spins slowly, like it's searching for direction. Feathers curls under a blanket of tarps. What happens when it finds her way out? I don't answer, because I think it already has. Day 5, noon. I wake to silence. Feathers is gone. Only his feathers remain, scattered like burned paper leading toward the pier. I grab the vial and follow. Outside, the lake is frozen over, thick grey ice stretching to the horizon. At the center, a single red light glows beneath the surface, pulsing in the same rhythm. 3 short, 1 long. Feathers stands at the edge, shirtless, eyes unfocused. The light from the ice flickers across his skin. Feathers! I shout. Don't move. He turns, smiling that too calm smile I've seen on every inmate right before the yard takes them. It called me, he says softly. It said I could fly again. He steps onto the ice. It doesn't crack, it breathes. Ripples move outward under the frozen layer, like something enormous exhaling. Stop! I yell, running. He spreads what's left of his wings. It's beautiful, murk. The ice opens beneath him. One blink he's there. The next, gone, swallowed without splash, without trace. Only the red pulse remains, brighter now, faster. I drop to my knees at the edge. Beneath the surface, shapes move, metal ribs, glass shards, and faces. Dozens. Hundreds. And one of them is Nova. Her eyes open under the ice, burning blue. The vial in my hand explodes in light, and I hear her voice, not from the air, but from inside my head. It's building. It wants a body. Yours. The ice beneath me cracks. Heat radiates upward, red light flaring through the fractures. I run. I don't remember how far. The world becomes noise, sirens, turbines, wind screaming through broken cranes. When I stop, I'm back near the city limits, lungs bleeding air. The ground shakes once, then stills. Behind me, the lake is gone. In its place, a new structure rises, a ring of steel towers arranged in perfect symmetry, humming in the same pulse. The yard has found the surface. That night, I sit on the hood of an overturned truck, watching the towers blink in sequence. The rhythm now matches a heartbeat I know too well, mine. The radio crackles again, though it's been smashed to pieces. Voss's voice flows through the static, smooth and patient. Congratulations, Officer Mercer. You completed your probationary period. Welcome to Shift 3. I look down at my hands. The cuts from the glass aren't bleeding anymore, they're glowing, faint amber. Inside my chest, something hums. I whisper to the empty road, Rule 1. My reflection in the truck window finishes it for me, smiling that wrong smile. Never let the kids reach the yard. I don't remember falling asleep. One moment I was staring at the towers pulsing over the lake, the next I was sitting in my old security chair, same metal desk, same flickering bulb overhead. Only, the office window looked out over nothing. Just fog. The intercom clicked. Good morning, Officer Mercer. Your shift begins now. Voss's voice. I laughed, dry, cracked. You're dead. Correction, he said smoothly. I'm integrated. The lights flickered, and suddenly the walls weren't steel anymore. They were breathing, expanding and contracting with each hum of the fluorescent bulb. The coffee cup on my desk trembled in time with it. I stood, heart pounding. This isn't real. Reality is relative to employment status, he replied. And you, Mr. Mercer, are still on payroll. I reached for my gun, gone. My belt was empty except for one thing, a folded paper, crisp as if printed seconds ago. Rule 1, never let the kids reach the yard. Underneath, in fresh red ink, a new line had appeared. Rule 2, if you reach the yard yourself, stay there. The floor split open. I fell through blackness that wasn't air but liquid static, thick, electric, whispering with thousands of voices. For a moment I saw each of them, Nova, feathers, glass, rotter, even stone. Their faces surfaced in the darkness like bubbles rising from tar. Don't fight it, Nova's voice said. It already knows your shape. I hit ground hard enough to see stars. When the vision cleared, I was standing in a place I knew too well. The yard. Only it wasn't underground anymore. It stretched forever in all directions, concrete catwalks, broken fences, playground swings twisted into full stands. The sky above pulsed red, beating in time with my heart. A figure waited near the old bleachers. Voss. His grey suit was gone, replaced by something made of cables and flesh. His skin shimmered with faint circuit patterns, his eyes twin amber lenses reflecting me from every angle. "Welcome back," he said. "Shift 3 has been efficient. What do you want from me?" I demanded. "I already have it. You walked out with a piece of the system inside you." He gestured to my hands. The faint amber glow beneath the skin brightened. "You're the first successful hybrid. Congratulations. Go to hell." He smiled. "Mr. Mercer, we're already there." Behind him, the ground began to open, slow, circular, revealing the same red light from the reactor core. It wasn't machinery anymore, it was alive, beating like a heart the size of a city. Voss stepped closer, his voice almost tender. "Do you hear it? It's the future humming. Energy without limit. Life that feeds itself. Order born from chaos. You're the final key." I backed away. "You built a god out of corpses." He tilted his head. "Isn't that what every civilization does?" The surface beneath me trembled. Shapes were rising, human silhouettes forming from the concrete itself. Their skin was grey, their eyes hollow. Each one wore a Blackridge badge. The missing guards. The ones the yard had kept. "Join them," Voss said softly. "It's easier than breathing." I ran. Through fog, through corridors that twisted back on themselves, through yards that became hallways that became sky. The place shifted like a living maze. Everywhere, the PA system whispered, "Shift 3 commencing. Shift 3 commencing." I tripped over a body, feathers. What was left of him? His chest barely moved, but his eyes fluttered open. His voice was faint, distorted, like he was speaking through a speaker buried under water. "She's still here." In the static. "Nova?" I asked. He nodded weakly, blood bubbling at his lips. "She's in the power, she can help you shut it down." Then his body dissolved, feathers turning to ash that blew upward into the crimson sky. I followed the light. Down a corridor of mirrors, each reflection a different version of me. Some were still human. Others were half machine. One smiled, mouthing words a second before I said them. I reached a door marked control room, authorized personnel only. No handle, no keypad. Just a blank metal surface that vibrated under my palm like skin. "Nova," I whispered. "If you're really there, open it." A pulse of blue light shot through the door. It slid apart. Inside, the room was filled with water. Floating monitors showed the faces of every inmate the yard had consumed. At the center, suspended by cables, was Nova, eyes closed, hair drifting like smoke. Electricity pulsed from her chest to the machinery around her. "Nova!" I shouted. Her eyes opened, blazing white. The voice that came out wasn't quite hers anymore, it echoed with 1,000 layers. "You shouldn't have come back. Neither should you." I didn't. It brought me. It needs both of us to finish the circuit. I stepped forward. Then let's break it. She smiled sadly. There's no breaking it. Only redirecting it. I glanced at the control console. One switch glowed blue, another red. Blue hummed like her, red throbbed like the yard. Which one kills it? None. But together, they can reset it. At least for a while. The ground rumbled. Outside, Voss's voice thundered through every speaker. Shift for online. Begin integration protocol. Cables shot through the ceiling like snakes, wrapping around Nova's body. She screamed as the current flared. The monitors flickered, her image replaced by Voss's smiling face. I told you, Mercer. She's just data. You're the hardware. The cables lunged for me. I fired the flare gun, my last one. The shot hit the main conduit. Flames raced along the cables, lighting the room like a sunrise. Nova reached out her hand, light pouring from her fingertips. Now, Mercer! I slammed both switches, blue and red. The explosion didn't sound like thunder. It sounded like breath finally exhaled after centuries of holding in. When I opened my eyes, everything was white. No walls. No machines. Just open space and falling ash that glowed faintly blue. Nova stood a few feet away, her outline fading. You did it, I said. She shook her head. We did it again. But it'll wake up. It always does. Then we'll keep killing it. Her smile was tired. You don't get it, Merc. You're part of it now. You always were. I looked down. My hands weren't bleeding anymore. They were metal, sleek, seamless, humming faintly with that same pulse. 3 short. 1 long. I whispered, no. Rule 3, she said softly. Never believe you made it out. She touched my chest. The world went black. I woke to the sound of rain. Real rain, or close enough. I was back in the security booth, again. The monitors flickered alive. Camera 1, the hallway. Camera 2, the cells. Camera 3, the yard. And there they were. The kids, Nova, Feathers, Shade, all of them, walking single file through the floodlights. Alive. Smiling. The radio buzzed on the desk. Morning, Officer Mercer. You're covering first shift tonight. Rule 1 still applies. I reached for the MIC, throat dry. Copy that, I said. Never let the kids reach the yard. On screen, the children stopped walking. Slowly, in perfect unison, they turned toward the camera. Every one of them smiled. The lights in the booth dimmed, flickered. The hum in the floor returned, steady, patient, endless. Somewhere deep below, the machinery began to move again. The intercom whispered, just loud enough for me to hear. Welcome to Blackridge, Officer Mercer. Shift 1 begins.